I was tagged by Vicki from Half Acre Dreams to do this question about being frugal. I believe she was tagged by Lisa from Sutton's Days, and she also tagged Kim from Hancock Homestead and Gardens. I will have all of those channels linked in the description box below so that you can go check out their frugal idea videos as well. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat that I am going to be tagging Holly from Frugal Mom Holly, and I will also have her channel linked in the description box below. There are 6 questions on this tag, and they were kind of challenging. I had to take a couple of days to think about it before I filmed this video. So let's get started with question number 1. Question number 1 is, what do I do daily to save money? And I think the number one thing that I do daily is that I cook at home. I cook just about everything from scratch. I even bake my own bread. We hardly ever eat out, and I think that that really saves a lot of money. And also daily, I usually eat leftovers for lunch. I really hate it when food goes to waste. So we try to not waste food as much as possible. Any food that kind of is a little bit iffy, I will have my son take out and give to the outside animals to eat, so that everything is being used in one form or another. All of my produce waste is either fed to my chickens and ducks, to our goat, or put into the compost. So that is something that we do daily to save money. Question number 2 is to tell some strategies on how to save money on your utilities. Now obviously there's the obvious ones, like shut the lights off when you leave the room and not leave the TV going if nobody's watching it. And to be honest, we struggle with that. I have 2 teenagers that live in this house, and they are constantly leaving things on. It seems I'm always going behind them to shut lights off. But the main thing that we did to save money on our utilities is we purchased 2 gas heaters. This is one of the gas heaters that we purchased, and we have one that's exactly like it downstairs because we have a finished basement. We do not ever turn on our furnace. These heaters heat the entire house toasty warm in the wintertime. These are all self-contained and self-venting, so you don't have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning. And they are very energy efficient. The first year that we used these heaters, our electric bill went down, well, it's a gas and electric both, went down by 3/4. We paid 1/4 of what we paid the year before. And that has been consistent every winter since we installed these gas heaters. Our utility bill has been way less than it was prior to installing these gas heaters. Question 3 is, what are your best tips to save on food and household supplies? I have several things listed. I have a list down here, so I may have to glance down for a minute. But there are a couple of things that I do that are technology related. I have an app on my phone called Ibotta, I-B-O-T-T-A. I can't show you the app because I film with my phone. So if you go on your computer and Google it, you'll be able to find it. But basically what it is that it's a savings app, and let's say you're going to be shopping for groceries. So you select groceries, and it'll pull up all these different stores in your area that sell groceries. And I do the majority of my shopping at Walmart, so I'll select Walmart, and then it will bring up everything that they're having like a coupon for that week. And you can go through and you just select, and they have it in categories like household items, cleaning products, dairy, meat, you know, produce, and you can go through and select the items that you already purchase. And once you select them and unlock them, it's called, then you go shopping. You come home, you use your phone, and you scan the barcodes of the items that you had selected, and then you scan the little, it's like a shape like a box, and it's got all these different designs in it at the very bottom of your receipt. You scan that, and it will give you whatever money back. It's like using a coupon for those items. I've been using that app for less than 2 years, and I've already gotten back almost $150 just by buying things that I already buy. And so that's really awesome. And then the other thing I do is the Walmart Savings Catcher. You can either do that on your phone or you can do it on the computer. And it's basically, you just go, I use it on the computer. I go on my computer, I bring up Walmart Savings Catcher, I put the date of the receipt, I put the number, there's like a 12-digit number at the bottom of the receipt. I key that number in and hit enter, and then within a day or two it'll come back and say if you got any money back. And the way they do that is they are matching all of the prices of the stores in your area, and if one of the stores in your area is selling the same product for less, they will give you the difference back. So it's like doing price matching that you do at the register, but you don't have to hassle with bringing in all your flyers and all of that. They just automatically do it for you on the computer. And I have saved lots of money. I save it up for the whole year, and then at the end of the year you can redeem it either through PayPal, or you can print off a coupon that you can use at Walmart. And that's what I give my husband to go Christmas shopping for me. And he has, for the last 2 years, not spent any money on me through the Savings Catcher refund and the Ibotta app. He uses those two, the money that we get back for those, to do his Christmas shopping for me. So basically all of my Christmas presents from the family have been free for the last 2 Christmases. So that's just really cool. I really like those. More practical thing that we do is that I wash and reuse my Ziploc bags unless they have had raw meat in them. I know you can wash them and disinfect them and all that, but it just grosses me out. So if it's got raw meat in it, I throw it away. But otherwise, I wash my Ziploc bags, rinse them, and hang them up to dry, and I'll reuse them until the zipper part is dead and they won't zip anymore. Another tip on how to save money on food and household products is, if it's possible, raise as much of your own food as you can. Have a garden. If you live in the city, have a small garden, have a container garden on your deck, and raise your own meat. We have saved so much money by raising our own chickens. I broke it down last year, and I can't remember exactly. I will insert it here on how much we ended up spending per pound on our chicken, because I kept track of every single expense, the cost of the chicks, the food, every single thing. And then when we butchered the chickens, I weighed every chicken and kept track of the total pounds of meat. And so then I did the math and I figured out how much we paid per pound for our chicken. So if you can, raise your own food. Question number 4 is your best tip to save when you're buying clothes. I think the best thing you can do is you find a store in your area that has the best deals and you shop sales. That's what I do. You know, I am in love with Cato. I love that store, but I hardly ever buy anything from that store full price. Hardly ever, unless it's something I really, really love and I really need. I'll pay for full price for it, but otherwise I only shop Cato's sales racks. And you can get stuff pennies. I mean, like something that would normally be $20, you can get it for $2 if you catch the sales just right. The other thing you can do is don't be afraid to shop secondhand. Go to Goodwill or some of your other thrift stores. You can find some really nice clothes there that are name brand. You just have to be selective on what you purchase. And that's how I get my clothes at a bargain price. Question number 5 is, what is your best strategy to get out of debt and to stay out of debt? Now this is a work in progress for us. We have been really trying hard to get out of debt for the last 2 years, and we've really reduced our debt a lot, but we still have debt. We accumulated debt over the years. I mean, it just happens. You know, you think, oh, I'll purchase this thing on this credit card because you get free interest for 6 months and I'll pay it off before the 6 months is up. 90% of the time you don't pay it off, and then you end up paying all this interest, and it's a mess. And we've fallen into those traps in the past, and I'm still working our way out of that. We have 2 credit cards left that have very low balances, and I am determined to have them paid off before the first of the year. But the way that we've been getting out of debt is that we've been following Dave Ramsey's Snowball. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it. I don't want to go into a lot of detail because I don't want this video to be too terribly long. But it's basically where you write down all of your debt minus your house payment, that's not included. You write down all of your debt. You start with the smallest balance first, and you work really, really, really hard to get that paid off. And then you go down to the next one, and you take the payment that you were making on that smallest debt, and you add it to the next one, so that that next payment is getting 2 payments basically, and then you just keep working your way down. And that's the way I've worked our debt out to where we only have 2 more credit cards to pay off. And our house payment is very, very, very close to being finally paid off. That'll be probably in another year, which I can't wait till that's paid off. So we're working on that. It's a slow process, and you just have to not get discouraged on it. The next strategy that I can give you is only pay cash. It is so, so tempting to not have patience and go out and just charge it if you need something or want something. Mostly it's a want. If you really just think about it, what you want to spend money on and get into debt on is a want. It's not really a need. Now if there's an emergency and you have to charge something, I guess that's a little bit different. Hopefully you've had money in your savings for an emergency fund saved up, but I know that's not always possible, and sometimes your emergencies are more than your emergency fund. So, but just for these little things that you want, like we need another freezer. When I was putting all of the pork away from that pig we purchased, I realized that when we butcher our 50 chickens, we're not going to have room for them in the freezers that we have. So it's really tempting to go to Lowe's, put it on the Lowe's credit card, and get a new freezer. But we're not going to do that. We're going to figure out another way to get a freezer and pay cash for it. So unless it's an emergency, pay cash. Be patient, save the money up, and pay cash. And the last tip I have is to make a budget and stick to it. Budgets aren't fun, they're boring, they're not cool, but they're important. Make a budget and stick to it. Tell yourself, this is how much money I have to spend for groceries this week, that's how much I'm going to spend. And if I have to put something back on the shelf and not buy it to stay within budget, that's what you have to do. In order for us to purchase the meat, the pig that we purchased, I had to use my Costco budget. So we didn't go to Costco in August. We may not go to Costco in September because now we're purchasing our chicks from our meat chickens. So those are all Our Costco money is part of our grocery budget. The pork that we purchased is obviously groceries. So we took our Costco budget and put it and applied it toward our meat for the pig. So we have to sacrifice, I guess, and not go to Costco for the month of August. That is how you make a budget and you stay on it. Question number 6 is, name one thing I do to save money that no one knows about. This one, this one is so hard. I've been thinking and thinking and thinking, and I think I'm pretty open and honest about how I spend my money and what I do, and I cannot think of anything I do to save money that no one knows about. Let me think about that for one more minute and see if I can come up with an answer. So I've been thinking and thinking and thinking about this last question, and the only thing I can really come up with is we don't go out places. We don't go to the movies. We don't go out to eat. We don't go on big fancy vacations. And part of it is because we don't really have the money for a big fancy vacation. And part of it is because I have learned how to become content at home and to stay busy at home. And I don't really feel the desire to travel and to go on these big fancy vacations. Now, I'm not saying that it's not fun to go out and do something once in a while, go to the movie, go to the drive-in, go, I don't really like to go out to eat, but go to the stores, go to the zoo. I love to go to the zoo. We do those things on occasion, but most of the time we just stay home and we find contentment and we do things at home as a family to have fun. And that is the only thing I could really think of that I do that not everyone knows about to save money. So I would say try to learn how to be content at home and learn how to do fun things at home with your family that don't cost any money. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found some of my tips helpful. And don't forget to look in the description box below and go to those other ladies that are on the list and see what their frugal tips are. Thanks a lot for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.